Our piece of the pie empowers young people with key competencies in order to remove barriers and succeed in both employment and education. For us, it's about relationships, relationships, and more relationships. If you can't establish a meaningful developmental relationship with a young person where both of you contribute towards the journey that you're going to take towards success, then you're stuck in the gate, right? So relationship is step one. At the end of the day, we want young people to become economically mobile. We want them to be self-sufficient. And last but not least, we want them to become their best self-advocates. I first met Rashani as she was one of the original, one of the first cases that I was assigned when I became a youth development specialist in this organization.
So Hector was my very first youth development specialist when I joined OPP. He actually was one of the leaders that was facilitating the peer mediation program.
She took it so serious that towards the end of our journey with that course, she led a lot of the sessions where she was teaching her colleagues and her fellow young people. Rashani, from the onset, came across as ambitious, curious, wanting to know more, wanting to have impact in her community and for herself. She was a dreamer. One of the things that I would say about Rashani is that she grew up across the street from one of the most prestigious colleges in America, Trinity College. And we often would talk about, although it was across the street, it seemed so far. And she wanted to go to that school, and that's all we talked about.
Graduating high school should not be the end goal. Right? You want to be able to empower our young adults to know that there is more than just graduating from high school. I am fortunate enough to have a very present father who understood the importance of secondary education. And at this time, he's like, okay, Rashani, it's time for you to start thinking about college. And he gave me the directive to go talk to my guidance counselor to understand what are the next steps as I prepare at this, in my sophomore year. And I vividly remember her pushing me away and telling me, you don't need to go to college. You are extremely good in math. Go work at a bank. Save your parents the heartache and pain from rejection, because you're likely not going to get into any of the colleges. I went back probably a week or two later. And I said, no, I think I really have to do this. She said, okay, well, there's a file cabinet outside in the hallway. In that file cabinet are all the resources that you need to get you what you need to go to college. And I remember finding a flyer, one-page flyer on OPP. And on that flyer, it was almost like a call to action. If you are looking for resources for job readiness, if you are looking for resources to assist you with your education, this is the place to be. OPP at that time, I remember helping to prepare me for the SATs, paying for SAT preparation. I remember also going through the process of completing the college application and the essays. When I went off to college, OPP would check in during those milestone moments, and when I'm going through midterms, when I am transitioning from one grade level to the next, I always had these consistent check-ins to continue to push you and to continue to show you that there are different avenues that you can take despite what's around you or what's against you in your community was pillar to my success.
Rashani has always told me that the supports that we provided to her during her young adulthood is something that she wanted to figure out how she get facilitated back.
I recognized that there was a need for this organization in the community just by way of what it afforded me. But being on the board, I have a more clear understanding on the impact that this organization does or provides, not just for the individual youth, but for our broader Greater Hartford community.
We're celebrating, we're calling our 50th anniversary tagline, The Legacy of Leaders, and we have many, and we see them every time we go into this community.
You always want to expand on something good, right? And so it just makes sense for us to understand what is that value that we can bring, that greater value that we can bring to the community that we are serving.
I would never think that I'd be sitting in this seat, but through hard work, through supports, through mentoring, I can honestly say that I count on the many people that have shaped my professional being. And we're here to stay, and we're going to do much more greater things.
It is a gratifying experience when I can walk the hallways of OPP and see the smiles and even just to see just the various levels of personalities and feelings, if you will, of the youth who are walking the halls of the organization. I know something is working.